Hi, Rachel. There's some parts of this that are so easy, so I'm going to make a movie of it a little bit. So, this is, I always do this, unfortunately. This is a canvas hand puppet. Lakeshore is a educational supply place, and they sell these. There's two other sizes. This giant one, I guess I use these for really big characters. Um, This is like an adult hand, I can use that smaller one. It's a little hard, but I'm not 7 foot or anything. So I think most adults can use them just fine. And the third kind is this. It just has a flat mouth. It's the only one that could theoretically really talk, but everything looks like a lizard, so I don't like these very much. The second thing I always have is lots of eyes. And so some of my characters use just regular sticker eyes, and some of them use the Google eyes like this. And so these come out great on camera. It looks like gravity and other natural forces are affecting the puppets. So anyway, the first thing is that I'll take this puppet thing, and then I put clay on it to create the head. And so I'm going to do that with a pretty big packet of Model Magic clay. This one is for a character who has brown skin. I only have the little ones for the white, and I can't demonstrate it as good. And so most of the time, I'm just going to do clay for, clay for hair. Let me say this differently. I'm going to use this clay with this person's skin color for the head and the hands. So I kind of learned the hard way that the best thing to do with hands is just to create a little ball at the end of each of these and give it a thumb. If it's a little ball with a thumb, it looks like a hand. Now, I do these so quickly. This is a head. So, excuse me. All I did was grabbed, here's my head. So all I did was grabbed it right out of this pack. I used about 3/4 of it, and I stuck it together. And I'm squishing it. Sometimes something's, you got to be real even with it, but whatever. A few times. So anyway, I get this shape. Sometimes I get something that looks like a natural nose. Otherwise, I'll just mold it in. So I've got a nose now. I'll put on some ears at this point. And then I'll stick on a couple of Google eyes. I use glue to put them on, so for right now, though, this is what it looks like with the Google eyes. Now, I'll just use a couple of molding tools to create a mouth like this. But the point is, it's slightly open. And so when you do puppet show, it almost looks like the mouth is moving based on the movements that you want to do anyway. And just as a side note, whenever I create my productions, I put the green screen up, and then I just have them do movements, a little talking to the left, a little talking to the right, straight forward, twirling around. Or if it's a song, I just put the song through my head and have them dance it away. And then I can give all that film to a guy who edits film and can put it to the audio. So essentially you can create the puppet, do a little green screen something or other, and on the back end it turns into the movie. Okay, so here's this guy. A lot of different glasses you can get. So this one was from, I can't even remember. Oh, I think I just looked up puppet glasses and they sent me a pack of 20 or something. I spray paint these sometimes. This one came white. I turned it into black. Now, hair like this, just the regular fur you get at the fabric store, it looks great. It looks great on camera. But so few of my characters really need it. And I just find it easier and more practical to use clay for the hair at the moment, but I'll just use my white. So anyway, this guy would have white hair in this case. So one other trick though, now yellow comes out terrible on camera, even against a green screen. So I learned the hard way I can twist colors together with yellow, and then I get streaky hair. And I could even do it where, and this is all the same air dry clay, I just use a different color. I put yellow and brown together for her. This is an even better example. This was brown hair, but I just wanted her to have a lot of streaks. So I just put a lot of rolled up, you know, when you roll up the clay into a little long thing, and I just put it all over her. Okay, so back to this guy. I draw the clothes, okay? So the clothes can look like this, just with a regular felt pen on canvas. But I also have spray paint. I wanted this guy to have a psychedelic shirt. This is a good example of the Google eyes. So this guy comes up on stage, and you can see. Anyway, that's a Google eye guy. This is also a guy who has just clay hair, black clay hair, compared to this guy who has a little bit of real hair. But I think that to only reserve the real hair for somebody where it's just part of their character. So this is Bernie. Bernie always has kind of messy hair, so I think it just makes the character a little better. But it's so hard to stick on, you know? And I really haven't mastered that at all. So here's an example of yellow hair, Trump. This is got brown, and that means that the green screen can handle it. I guess I should say I use a thin pen once I've created this guy to trace out his features. Comes out a little better on camera that way. So I'll draw, you know, just as if I was drawing a caricature. I'll just draw an outline around his eyes, his nose, and everything. So this is probably a good example of that. This is a character who has the outline written around her nose and mouth. I guess it gives the effect that they're almost like a comic, a cartoon, an editorial cartoon. Okay, so one more example of a spray paint shirt. I really like this guy's spray paint shirt. Another example of a yellow hair that you do with streaks. In this case, it was just a little bit of green paint, but before that, this just didn't come out at all on camera. And this one, very rare. Oh, hello? Oops. Oh, there you are. This one, very rare, but I didn't want the puppet body as I performed. God, better example. I didn't want the puppet body on Joe Rogan to be skinny. My son told me I better make him jacked. So I used black clay to create a larger body here. Now, of course, the arms barely move, and I pretty much film him from the waist up. That let me make him a big girth person. That works in an emergency, but really I don't like the way it came out. This is an example of clothes that are not drawn on. I thought this is a Supreme Court justice. I wanted her to look like she had something different. This is Bernie again. I like the floppiness. Now, the clothes can come from either... This was a costumer that I know. She makes movie costumes. This one, I just took it off of a little toy my son had and stuffed it onto the puppet body. So, one more thing I can get from Bernie, though, is these hands. The hands are basically, as I said, I just make a little circle out of clay, stick it onto here, and create a thumb. And he can play any musical instrument. Thumbs let you express things and stuff, so it works out. One more that has a costume that was made. And so I just thought she needed a nice sport coat. I, in a couple cases with the drawn-on costume, add a little shiny thing, like her pen, or this one's scarf. Looks terrible, actually. But if it's silver, like this thing, and you'll see when you do some green screen filming, it comes out great on camera. It's just shiny. It makes it look like it's a metallic piece of a cartoon. It's a very bizarre thing. Now, last thing on hair is a lot of them just have a hat. So my various clays, you know, orange, red, all this stuff, I don't use them for much, but with a good hat, you know, they looks not so great here, but these actually do look on camera like real hats. Okay, so that's essentially it. Yeah. And I guess I would just say that when you have the variations on the glasses, the type of eyes, whether you want to use real hair, spray paint the body, or use the other stuff, I think it comes down to just the character, you know. So if in your mind, I need two right now, by the way, which is Tony Robbins and Dr. Oz. But for instance, if you think Tony Robbins looks like his hair is kind of plastered on, you know, regular clay hair, if you think it's got a little spikiness and that makes his character a little more distinctive, go ahead with the real hair. I wish I could give you better advice on how to stick it on, but I usually just use some glue, and I just try to not move them very much when I film them. And, you know, similarly with the clothes. If the clothes are just, hey, I would draw it, and that just mimics what I think this character looks like, go ahead and do it. But if you think, no, this one needs a costume to really look like who I want it to look like, I'll send you the address of the costumer, or whatever we have to do to get a costume made, and tell you the truth, they're very interchangeable as well. So I ended up really liking the work Andrea did for me. Okay, so I'm going to send this off, and I can't think of anything else about these guys. I guess at some point, where the materials come from, we could go into that. I learned the hard way that both Lakeshore and Michaels carry all this stuff. But if I walk in person into a fabric store like Barron's, I think, anyway, these various fabric stores, then I actually see some more unusual eyes, glasses, clothes, because most of them have a puppeting section. But in a pinch, even at Target, you can get the clay. I just do lots of hand puppet bodies at a time. I'll usually get 20, so if I get a great idea, I don't have to wait. And the air dry clay, Lakeshore and Education places have it, and just regular art supplies. Everything I get just is from straight art supplies. And I always use the Sharpie that's not the very smallest line, the one that's one up from that, because the really small one doesn't come out so good on camera. Okay, hope you have a great day. Talk to you later.